Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, our city's first responders are honored with prestigious awards. We'll take you there.
Then you'll meet an injured motorcycle rider who's got advice on how to keep safe.
Plus, we'll bring you an update on the school construction happening around the TUSD.
And we'll tell you why this Torrance educator is taking a leave of absence from teaching. These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Hibah.
And I'm Ben McCain. Here are your top stories. The high price of those cell phone tickets doesn't seem to be deterring drivers. According to a new study, Californians are increasingly talking or sending text messages on their cell phones while driving. A statewide survey showed more than 10% of drivers use mobile devices at any given time during the day, and that's an increase from 7% a year ago. The largest increase was among 16 to 25-year-olds whose use doubled. In April, law enforcement officials across the state cracked down on distracted driving. They issued more than 57,000 tickets to motorists talking or texting on a cell phone. Motorists ticketed for a first infraction are generally fined a minimum of $159.
Here are some highlights from the most recent City Council meeting.
If you haven't already heard, May 18th through May 20th is Armed Forces Day weekend. The city official proclaimed the weekend as such and reminded residents of a three-day celebration that honors the Air Forces this year. This is the 53rd year for the Armed Forces Day parade here in Torrance. And council expressed the city's gratitude to Michael B. Donnelly. Donnelly is the Secretary of the U.S. Air Force and will serve as the parade's Grand Marshal. ExxonMobil donated $5,000 to a program for students. The 8th grade leadership program was started in 2010 and teaches students about how to respond to peer pressure and emphasizes the importance of core values and accountability. The Green Team is getting a new name and some new additions to the program. The program, which helps students have their first work experience throughout the city, will now include jobs that involve STEM or science, technology, engineering, and math. ExxonMobil donated $50,000 to this year's program, which was appropriated by council. AYSO volunteer Fritz Schmidt was honored at the meeting. Schmidt was active from 1965 to 1979, where he served as a referee. He often reffed 5 games per day. And coach Siegfried Schmidt, who's Fritz Schmidt's son, was also recognized with a proclamation. Sigi was one of the first soccer players to play for the AYSO. Schmidt became a coach starting in 1969. He later played soccer at UCLA and became the school's head coach in 1980. Schmidt went on to coach the LA Galaxy, the Columbus Crew, and the Seattle Sounders soccer team, where he currently coaches. And with all this soccer talk, it seemed the appropriate time to make a special announcement. The 2014 AYSO Summer National Games will be held here in Torrance. The organization will soon celebrate its 50th anniversary, and Torrance is considered the birthplace of the American Youth Soccer Organization. The games could attract more than 500 teams from across the country to the South Bay, and AYSO representatives believe they could also generate more than $10 million in revenue for the area. The Ride for Kids Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation honored Torrance police officers. The Ride for Kids is one of more than 40 national motorcycle rides that help raise funds for pediatric brain tumor survivors and their families. The week of May 13th is Blue Ribbon Week here in Torrance. Blue Ribbon Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day on May 15th honors police officers for their dedication to public safety. And May 20th through May 26th is Small Business Week in Torrance. The city has been a consistent supporter of small businesses, recently with its part in the South Bay Entrepreneurial Center. The nonprofit will serve as a business incubator and educational center. The center is scheduled to open in July. The council held the second hearing for 2012 to 2013 fiscal year budget. Council sought input from the public, then based on recommendations from the Finance Department, approved the 2012-2013 second year of the budget. One of the outcomes of the budget hearings is the hiring of new police officers. The city will hire 2 new officers in the next 2 years. The city made cuts to the budget for this $300,000 expenditure, which comes as a response to the state's AB 109 realignment. The Ishibashi farm on Crenshaw Boulevard near the Torrance Airport closed last year. At the meeting, the council officially terminated the farming agreement with the family. The city will also remove the Ishibashi farm stand that is currently on the property. The family asked that it be removed so it remains part of the family's history in the minds of residents and customers.
Torrance helped celebrate Older Americans Month with their recent event. The city held their annual senior fair. Attendees had blood pressure screenings, learned about health and safety, and spoke with health professionals. Information on programs like CERT, Map Your Neighborhood, and Focal Point on Aging were also available. Many seniors made a day of it by shopping at the various vendor booths and enjoying live entertainment. This was the 13th year for the Senior Fair in Torrance.
While many high school seniors are concerned over rising college tuitions, 4 deserving students are getting some help after this year's Beat the Odds scholarship ceremony. Reporter Jaisy Geans takes us there.
The Torrance Youth Council recently sponsored the 16th annual Beat the Odds Youth Scholarship Dinner. 4 high school seniors were each awarded a $1,000 scholarship.
As the awards are presented tonight, you'll hear the many challenges these individuals have had to overcome in their quest for success and the reasons they're being awarded a scholarship this evening.
The scholarship was created to celebrate students who have excelled despite personal and academic obstacles. Applicants must reside in Torrance and write an essay describing their story.
At the swap meet with her parents, things were quite different, a lot different for her.
For all of the winners, this was a proud moment that will help them to reach their goals.
I wanted to go to Santa Cruz for marine biology. I wanted to become a marine biologist since I was about 8, so it's a lifelong aspiration.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jaisy Geans.
And for more information on the city's youth council, visit the city's website at torranceca.gov.
Speaking of children getting some help, most therapists believe that few foster children ever receive therapy once they are put in foster care. A nonprofit organization is hoping to change that. Reporter Maudette Lewis tells us more from a recent fundraiser.
Counseling for Kids held the Bowl for Kids event to raise funds and consciousness in honor of Foster Care Awareness Month. The nonprofit organization provides mental health therapy for foster children throughout Los Angeles County. Executive Director Richard Burrell says their organization is different in the respect that they provide in-home therapy for the children.
It allows us to either continue using the same therapist or in some cases to then transfer to one of our other therapists so that there is more familiarity with the treatment case.
Several local businesses and service groups attended the fundraiser to help raise money for the organization. Harbor UCLA Kids Clinic's Dr. Chris Mink says they work together with Counseling for Kids to provide medical care to these disadvantaged children.
We are really excited to see this much support from our Torrance community, considering there are so many children in our service provider area and the greater Torrance and South Bay area that have foster children, and these kids have a lot of needs.
In addition to bowling, there was also a silent auction and a birthday celebration for 2 of the children. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Maudette Lewis.
Thank you, Maudette. For more information, visit counselingforkids.org. Coming up, we'll tell you why Torrance firefighters and police officers were recently recognized.
And we'll tell you which Torrance schools are getting a facelift. And here's Lieutenant General Ellen Polak-Koski of the U.S. Air Force with her thoughts on the upcoming Armed Forces Day Parade.
The Armed Forces Day Parade is an opportunity for me to get to know the community of Torrance while recognizing the service of my fellow soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen. The community of Torrance is a great American hometown, and they make the men and women of LA Air Force Base feel like we are part of this hometown. I'm honored to be a part of this celebration.
Hey guys!
Yeah?
Hey look, the weather's changed. Looks like it's gonna be raining the whole weekend.
Oh!
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
I believe that home is where your pet is.
And that loving an animal means never giving up on them, never letting them go.
I believe that when you spay or neuter your pets, you help decrease the number of homeless animals.
Because every dog and cat deserves a place to call home.
I believe that I found my best friend at a shelter. And you can too.
We believe that together with Best Friends Animal Society,
we can bring about a time when there are no more homeless pets.
Visit ambassadors.bestfriends.org.
Saying thank you can make a difference. The South Bay recognized the importance of thanking our distinguished police officers and firefighters at the 38th Annual Medal of Valor Ceremony. Reporter Ella Sogomonian takes us there.
Their stories might sound like something straight out of a movie, but today the South Bay recognizes their real-life heroes of the police and fire departments for their brave and heroic actions.
In a workplace built on drama and action, acts of bravery can go unnoticed. But the South Bay Medal of Valor Awards highlights the distinguished men and women of service for its 38th consecutive year.
You'll see by the look on their faces when they come here how excited they are to be here. They bring their families. The mayors are here from the cities, the police chief, the fire chief, and I mean they're very excited to be part of it.
The Medal of Valor Award is given to first responders who go beyond normal demands of the job, which is often coupled with the threat of injury. 5 Torrance firefighters were presented with the Distinguished Service Award, going above and beyond their duties.
A group of firefighters from my department were camping. We were on a hike, and we came upon a person in cardiac arrest. So we took care of her. Her husband was getting a little shocky, so we took care of him as well. And my captain rode on the helicopter to have them airlifted to the hospital.
Even though she's the only other woman recognized at the event this year, Fire Engineer Radk doesn't feel the need for distinction. Instead, she feels
just like everybody else, really. It's what I'm being honored for is something anybody in my profession would have done.
While most recipients were honored for actions performed on duty, the group of firefighters was honored for their actions while off duty.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to know that there's people out there that are recognizing us for the work that we do. You know, a lot of these people are being honored for work that they do on duty, and it's nice to know that we're recognized for work on and off duty.
Representing the Torrance Police Department, Detective James Wallace was presented with the Sustained Superiority Award for his 15 years of bringing justice to families by his challenging work on cold case homicides.
We've never been lucky and had, a DNA hit that solved a case for us. That does not happen for us. So these cases take a couple of years each to work, and you're just assembling the puzzle until you have enough pieces to see the image.
Detective Jim Wallace is being recognized for his brilliant work in several of our cold case homicides. Jim was very instrumental in actually putting that detail together several years ago, but through his investigative efforts and the work of District Attorney John Lewin, who's been working with us from the get-go also, they've done some incredible work, put some serious offenders behind bars for a long, long time on cases that have gone cold for several years.
With the Medal of Valor Award, the Chamber of Commerce ensures that these heroic actions won't go unnoticed. For Torrance CitiCABLE, this is Ella Sogomonian.
Thank you, Ella. The Medal of Valor Award is presented to individual police officers and firefighters who have distinguished themselves by bravery, heroism, or other actions beyond the normal demands of the job.
May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, and with summer heating up, more riders will be on the road. Reporter TK Trinidad tells us how one rider learned about safety the hard way.
It has taken Matt Greer more than 20 years to hop back on his motorcycle again. After a major accident, he broke his jaw, severed his facial nerve, and dislocated his hip.
The light was changing red. It was still yellow. I had a passenger on the back, so I couldn't make the stop. I would have stopped if I could have, but I went through the light, and a person coming the other direction just made a left turn right in front of me. Didn't wait for me to clear the intersection, and I hit him.
Greer was in the hospital for more than a month, and it took him 6 months to walk again. After his ordeal, there's only one thing he suggests riders do.
Take a safety course. Even if you've ridden in the past and you've taken a break like I did, take a motorcycle safety course. I recommend the Motorcycle Safety Foundation.
With the summer coming up and high gas prices, there are more motorcyclists on the road. And South Bay motorcycle organizer Bill Georgia suggests riders should always check their equipment.
The biggest thing they can do is make sure that their motorcycle is in safe riding condition to be on the road. No oil slicks, no bad tires, make sure the brakes work. Biggest thing about being safe is having safe equipment.
Georgia also says that riders have to predict what other cars are going to do, and drivers should be mindful of bikers.
They need to know we're out there, and with the gas prices now, there's more and more bikes getting on the road, and new riders, and the cars need to be aware of that. They need to be aware of the California law that we are allowed to share the lane. Biggest thing they can do when they see a bike coming is just scoot over a little bit, let them go by. It's not worth trying to cut them out or, squeeze them from letting you go by and causing an accident.
Motorcyclists should always remember to wear a helmet certified by either the Department of Transportation, DOT, and or the North American Standard Snell helmet, as well as the proper attire. And before every ride, Georgia checks his bike.
I kick my front and back tire before I even pull out of my driveway every day.
As for Breer, even though he's still feeling the effects of his accident 20 years later, he can't resist the thrill of riding.
I just like it too much. The freedom, being able to get out on the open road, it's just so much fun, and I just missed it.
The national statistics state that motorcycle accidents have increased since the late 1990s. Bill and Matt say the best way to be safe is to see and be seen. For This Week in Torrance, I'm TK Trinidad.
Thank you, TK. For more information, visit the Motorcycle Safety Foundation at msf-usa.org.
The city of Torrance can expect quite a few construction sites at local schools. Reporter Charlana Brown explains.
At the end of last year, the Board of Education approved a project for modernization of more than 30 campuses locally. With a $355 million budget, some schools can expect a pretty nice upgrade.
Y&Z is actually a really successful community effort to get together and identify the needs of the school district and create a bond issue.
It's been 5 years since the bond measure passed. Here at Fern Elementary School, PTA parent Para Profit is happy to see that progress is being made.
It's been a long time coming, but it's finally happening, and we see the building going up every day as we come to school, and the kids are getting excited.
And while the construction may cause some inconveniences, it will be completely worth it in the future.
Measures Y&Z were passed with the 71% voter approval. Completed projects include McGruger Middle School, Hull Middle School, Walteria Elementary School, and 4 athletic fields.
Fern Elementary School is expected to be finished in September. By then, students will be back in the classroom and settled into their new school.
They're building a new building over there. It's going to be the 4th grade building where I'm going to be next year.
Across the street, the Greenwood campus will be eliminated and 5 4th and 5th grade classes will be brought to Fern's main campus.
And that will save a lot of time in walking back and forth with the children. So, again, another thing that we're very happy and excited about.
In 2013, over a half dozen schools, including North High, Torrance High, and Towers Elementary, will be a part of the renovation process. This Week in Torrance, I'm Charlana Brown.
Thanks, Charlana. For more information on construction updates, visit TUSD.org.
The Triangle Coalition is a nonprofit organization that works on improving STEM education in public schools. They also offer fellowships to educators who can contribute to drafting science education legislation. And one of their newest fellows is from Torrance. Reporter Ella Sogomonian has the story.
Each year, educators face challenging circumstances and even feel the need to defend their skills. But today we meet one Torrance teacher who not only has been recognized, but has a chance to make a change.
But sensing the contrast in the reflectance between the dark carpet and the white of the masking tape.
I don't see him really as a scientist in a stuffy sense. He's kind of the pop culture scientist.
Birtland Middle School teacher Kevin Tambara engages students with his interactive robotics club.
Science is not dry, or at least it shouldn't be. If you do hands-on stuff like this, it's not dry, it's exciting. And these aren't just toys. These are actually the way of the future. In fact, the future is now. And these kids right here are going to be the scientists and the robotics experts of the future.
Mr. Tambara's unique approach and enthusiasm have placed him among 12 science teachers from across the nation that have been accepted into the Albert Einstein Distinguished Educator Fellowship Program.
All modesty aside, I think they like my background, because before I was a teacher, I've been a teacher for 11 years now. Before I was a teacher, I was an engineer.
Mr. Tambara's engineering background fuels his hands-on teaching techniques so that students set books aside and bring science to life.
So what I try to do is bring that experience, bring those stories into the classroom and excite the students that, again, science is not from a textbook. Science is real. Engineering is real. And even more importantly, engineering can take you places.
The STEM community represents science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and is dedicated to improving American education in these fields. It is up to educators like Mr. Tambara, who are sent to Washington, D.C., to enlighten congressmen on issues seen firsthand and to make improvements. With this opportunity to make a change, Mr. Tambara is facing his most challenging question to date.
What would you want to do for a year if you could make your mark on the STEM community? And they said that's what you'll be doing. And so it's a totally open book.
Mr. Tambara has already left his mark by inspiring his robotics class students.
I kind of want to be like a biologist or like an engineer or something, and yeah, this has really motivated me to do that.
If I had a worse teacher than Mr. Tambara, I would have not been the same, had the same motivation to be some sort of a scientist or engineer that he has given me. He's really inspired me to show me that I can do so much to, I guess, help my community.
The school has ensured that Mr. Tambara's strong bond with his students will not be broken by his year-long stay in D.C.
Because even though he leaves, he Skypes back in, or he keeps in touch with the students. He has a real connection with them. And so he's done blogs, and he'll talk about just a little entry about what he did during the day, and students will ask him questions or talk back on that blog.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Ella Sogomonian.
Thank you, Ella. Kevin Tambara will relocate to Washington, D.C. for a year. Tambara will use his teaching knowledge to work alongside government officials and follow science teachers to contribute to new programs. For more information, visit trianglecoalition.org. Coming up, we'll tell you about an Armed Forces Day event that you won't want to miss.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Every day, millions of children and adults face orthodontic problems, such as unhealthy bites, misaligned jaws, and poor mouth function. These problems can detract from dental, physical, and emotional health. But long-term health troubles like these can be prevented. Detection and treatment by an orthodontist is the key to correcting these problems and achieving a healthy, beautiful smile. An orthodontist is the only healthcare professional who specializes in the field of orthodontics. These doctors are dentistry's experts, with 2 to 3 years of advanced, specialized education beyond dental school. They straighten teeth and align jaws each and every day by dedicating their practices to the field of orthodontics. A healthy, attractive smile is a priceless asset in life. Put yours in the care of the most qualified professional. For more information, visit braces.org.
Some dogs fetch and roll over. Some dogs take you to Spain and shopping for refrigerators, help you get through grad school, start your own business, go on hikes in the Grand Canyon. Some dogs you trust with your life every day. Being partners with a guide dog is having the freedom to do what you want in life. Nothing more, nothing less. And with your help, nothing need ever change that. Call 1-888-884-DOGS or visit guidedogs.com.
The Air Force Band of the Golden West promises to give a standout performance on Friday, May 18th at the James Armstrong Theater. But if you're not able to attend the live evening show, you still have the chance to hear the music. At 7:30 p.m., tune into Channel 22 to watch and hear the live show. For more information on the Air Force Band of the Golden West and for all of the events happening during the Armed Forces Celebration weekend, visit torranceca.gov.
And finally, the city of Torrance and everyone here at CitiCABLE 3 lost a colleague and friend recently. Art Kallen, former host of CitiCABLE's Senior Scene, passed away this week. He was 90 years old. Originally from Syracuse, Kallen began his career as a sports coach in Bronson, Florida. He moved to the South Bay in 1953, where he was a phys ed teacher and later a school administrator and principal until he retired in 1982. He kept busy not only through his work on Senior Scene, but also as an active member of the Kiwanis Club and the Commission on Aging. Kallen is survived by his wife Bobby, 3 children, and several grandchildren. He will be missed. That's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.